On a recent broadcast of the popular morning show Fox and Friends, co-host Brian Kilmeade made a statement that immediately sparked condemnation and disbelief. The segment discussed the tragic death of New York City woman Irina Zarutska. The conversation broadened to homelessness and mental health crises in urban areas. Kilmeade, known for candid and provocative commentary, interjected with a remark that crossed a line. The discussion focused on individuals who refuse help or shelter. It's a complex problem with no easy answers. The moment was clipped and shared across social media and news outlets. Kilmeade expressed his frustration. He suggested an inhumane solution for mentally ill homeless people who decline assistance. If you're not going to get the help, you're going to be institutionalized, or you're going to be arrested, or just kill them. The final 3 words, said casually, hung in the air and shocked listeners. The hosts had been speaking about a real tragedy, a lost human life. That context made his suggestion to end more lives especially disturbing. The public reaction to Brian Kilmeade's comment was swift and overwhelmingly negative. It spread like wildfire across social media. X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook. Viewers immediately began posting clips of the segment. Activists did the same. Concerned citizens posted clips and reacted. They expressed outrage and disbelief. The phrase "just kill 'em" became a trending topic. Thousands of users condemned the rhetoric as hateful and dangerous. Advocacy groups for the homeless were among the first to issue statements. Advocacy groups for the mentally ill also spoke out. They warned this language stigmatizes and dehumanizes vulnerable people, and it could potentially incite violence in the real world. Major news organizations across the spectrum reported the incident. NBC News ran headlines quoting Kilmeade. Rolling Stone published coverage. Yahoo News also ran the story. Here at CNN we covered the story extensively. The consensus among reputable media was clear. Not a partisan issue, but basic human decency. Facing an avalanche of criticism from the public, media organizations, and advocacy groups, Kilmeade was compelled to address his controversial statement. However, the apology, when it came, was notably brief and delivered with little of the gravity that the situation seemed to demand. During a later segment, Kilmeade acknowledged his earlier words, stating that he had made an extremely callous remark. He offered a short explanation, claiming he was being sarcastic and that he totally apologizes. The apology was over almost as quickly as it began, a fleeting moment of contrition before the show moved on to its next topic. The reception of this apology was, to put it mildly, lukewarm. Many critics and viewers found it insufficient and insincere, arguing the brevity did not match the severity. The defense of sarcasm was particularly weak as humor or irony was not apparent in the original clip. Suggesting a joke about killing a vulnerable population struck many as a poor excuse that failed to take full responsibility for the harm his words had caused. For a comment so egregious, a more thorough and heartfelt apology was expected, one that acknowledged the dehumanizing nature of the remark and its potential real-world impact. The general sentiment was that the apology felt like a public relations obligation, not genuine remorse. It was seen as an attempt to quell the controversy and move on quickly, rather than an opportunity for genuine reflection on why the comment was so offensive. The incident left a lingering question about accountability at the network and for its on-air talent. The apology was an acknowledgement of the controversy, but for many it was not an adequate resolution. The controversy surrounding Brian Kilmeade's comment did not occur in a vacuum. It highlights a much larger, troubling trend in how homelessness is discussed. Often, individuals experiencing homelessness are portrayed not as people facing a crisis, but as a public nuisance, a statistic, a threat to safety and property values. This narrative strips them of their humanity, making dehumanizing language easier to take root. When media frame the issue only as crime or urban decay, they create a climate of fear and intolerance that enables dangerous solutions. This incident is a case study on the responsibility of public platforms. Media personalities, politicians, and influencers have the power to shape public opinion. Their words matter. When platforms spread empathy and constructive ideas, they can inspire positive change. When they use hateful, violent, or dehumanizing rhetoric, they validate prejudice and risk real-world harm. The line between frustration and promoting cruelty must be carefully guarded. Responsible speech is crucial in a polarized media landscape. Public figures must discuss homelessness and mental illness with accuracy and empathy. This isn't avoiding hard policy debates, it's about respecting human dignity. Suggesting any group be killed, even as a joke, is an abdication of responsibility and betrayal of audience trust. The outrage and Kilmeade's apology should be a lesson. Words have consequences. Hold public figures accountable. Building a compassionate society starts with how we speak about the vulnerable. Responsible discourse is a cornerstone of civil society, and we must demand nothing less from